Hey team, in this two-part video we're going to show you how we transformed our bathroom from this to this. Hey team, I am very excited to share this video with you. A number of months ago we transformed our guest bathroom from something that looked a little bit used and dumpy to something that I'm pretty proud of. So we're going to divide this video into two parts. In this part, this is part one, we're going to show you our painting and particularly our cabinet transformation. We used Rustoleum Furniture Transformations to work on our vanity in the guest bathroom. And in part two, which is coming out in a few days, we'll show you how we installed our granite countertop and all the plumbing that went along with that. So we're very proud of what we've done, and we look forward to sharing it with you right now. We are getting ready to redo our guest bathroom, which is the bathroom the kids use for the most part. And I just want to show you around what we have right now. So far, over here, we've already done some wall patches. You can see them there, where we used to have a ceramic towel bar and ceramic toilet paper holder on the wall here. And we also have these towel hooks. We have 6 kids, so we have 6 hooks on the wall. So this room is going to get painted sort of I think we chose a sort of a robin's egg blue. This is our bathtub and shower right here, but the main piece of the project and the main reason for doing the kids' bathroom is that I think the scope is pretty simple, and we kind of need to get it done. You can see the drain down in there is getting kind of rusty, and this little thing over here is getting kind of rusty. So what really needs to happen is we need to replace that countertop, and we've purchased a granite countertop to go in its place. And this mirror is going to come off the wall so we can paint the wall the same color as everything else. But the cabinets throughout the house are in generally pretty good shape. They need to be cleaned up a little bit. And we got that cabinet refinishing stuff from Home Depot that people are using on their kitchen cabinets to sort of refresh them. The main issue is over here, where you can see the surface is really kind of rough. And so we're still trying to decide what to do about that. We're either going to get a very thin sheet of plywood and affix it to the side there, or we may just have to replace that entire side of this cabinet. But either way, the first thing to do is to get that mirror off the wall and to remove that counter and sink so we can get a better sense of what's going on there. So that's the beginning of the project. Then we'll need to go to Home Depot and get a few more supplies as we keep going. But one of these days we need to just bite the bullet and start working on getting this done without a sink in this room, so today is that day. So our demolition is done now. The countertop's off. We took the doors off of the front of the cabinet. And part of what we were trying to determine is what exactly we were going to do about this part right here. Remember I said this surface was all rough and this sort of a particle board and the laminate's coming up. So what we're going to do is there's just enough space here that we're going to add a 1/4-inch sheet of plywood on top of this whole surface. So I took all the trim off along the wall there and along the bottom. And so we're going to lay that, we're going to custom cut it and lay a piece of 1/4 inch plywood right there. And then we'll use that as a surface to finish along with the rest of the cabinet with that special cabinet finishing stuff. And then we'll go on from there. So the next 2 projects are basically getting that fixed, getting that piece of wood fixed, and then we need to do the cabinet refinishing and paint the whole room so that we'll be ready to install the countertop and the sink. So that's the plan, and we're gonna go to Home Depot, get what we need, and keep going.
I'll call you in a couple days. Okay, bye.
Are you getting some video of this?
Yeah, just try to rub it up and smooth it out. And then
Like
smooth
sand
it out
it?
and clean it up the best you can so there's no rough residue or anything like that.
Found what I'm looking for? Those are the whole new knives. Oh, scour them.
Okay.
Take the bag out.
So the thing about house projects is one thing always leads to another. And the thing that has led to another thing in this situation is our toilet. So our toilet flushes just fine, and it's been functioning just fine. But to paint the wall, we are going to need to remove the toilet tank so we can paint behind it. But when we went to do that, you can see all that metal stuff on the floor. This little bolt underneath the toilet is super rusty, and the same on the other side. And we can't remove that from the toilet. So what are we gonna do? Well, all the best research says that I get to use my tool. And what tool might that be? It would be my Sawzall. It's the one tool from this set I haven't had a chance to use before, and I'm kind of excited about that. So here we go. We're gonna saw the bolts off and see if we can remove this tank. We're gonna flush the toilet first though. So we're gonna turn off the water. And flush the toilet one last time. Get that nice and empty. And we'll empty it just a little bit more. Get all that water out of there. Okay. And now we are going to saw. Look at that rusty guy. Well, I think that was a success. So, if you ever have rusty bolts holding your toilet tank to your toilet, the Sawzall is the way to go. Don't pass go, don't collect $200, go for that Sawzall and you'll knock it right out. Now we're gonna move on to painting. So the first coat of paint is now done, and I think it looks pretty good. I'm really happy with it. So a couple more, well, probably one more coat of paint, maybe 2 more around the edges, and we can move on to the cabinet refinishing. So I think we'll get through the next coat, and then we'll show you what's going on with the cabinets. So the bathroom is completely painted now. We finished both coats. I ended up not needing to paint a second coat with the roller, so we just did 2 coats on the edges and the borders. And just now we cut the piece of plywood that's going to go here. What we used is a sheet of thin 1/4-inch plywood, and we just cut it to the same size of that paddle, including this little notch here, which goes in the little area where your feet can go underneath the vanity. So the next step is to take some liquid nails and stick it all over the surface here, and then we will glue this plywood sheet to the cabinet, and then we need to prime it with some white primer, any primer, before we move on to using the cabinet refinishing stuff. So that's the next step. Let's see how it goes.
I'm checking over this one.
So when we glued that board onto the vanity, what we noticed is that the board was bowed just a little bit and was pushing out from the vanity. So what we did is we used some clamps to hold it on there, but that took care of the top and this side. It did not take care of down here. So I'm going to use our air gun to stick some finish nails in there and see if we can tighten it up just a bit on the bottom as well.
What's the air gun, Papa?
It uses air from the air compressor to shoot nails or staples into something.
No,
So we're going to try that now. That is pretty cool, isn't it?
What? Did you?
We've now finished the initial step for this furniture refinishing process. This is a product by Rustoleum. And so the first step was to rub this cleaning solution called a deglazer or deglosser all over the surfaces, and then wipe it off with a lint-free cloth. So we got some microfiber cloths to do that. So all of the surfaces are now prepared. Now I'm going to mask off everything and put on what they call the bond coat, which is kind of essentially like a gray paint. So that's the next step. Here we go. And this is our paint stir stick. I'll show you why. So we use the paint key to open this. Okay, here's the rules. When I start painting, I need you to sit over here and not touch this, okay?
Okay.
So we got the first coat of the bond coat on there, and there needs to be one more coat. You have to let it dry for 2 to 3 hours between coats. So I'm not going to video that part, but I will come back when we look at the decorative glaze. So we're making good progress, and 2 or 3 more hours and we'll be good to go. So I am completely done with the bond coat now on this cabinet refinishing project, which means we're on to phase 3, which is an optional decorative glaze. And the idea is that you take this decorative glaze in a very small can, and you brush it onto the cabinet, and then you use this sort of cheesecloth stuff to wipe most of it off, and it gives it sort of a faux wood grain look. So we're gonna give that a try and see if we like it, and I think we will like it. So we're gonna give that a try. This is what it looks like just brushed on purely.
I like it wiped, don't you?
Do you like it like that?
Yeah, I like that right there. Do you like it? That was cool.
So I have to admit, I was a wee bit skeptical about how the decorative glaze would work out. I thought it might look a little kind of fake or whatever, but I was also looking at the gray color we had picked out, and it was looking a little on the purple side to me. So so we decided to go for it, and I'm actually really happy with it. I'm gonna show you now what it looks like. You can see the glaze kind of fills in all of the grooves where the wood was, and allows the wood grain to come back out. It had kind of disappeared under the bond coat, the gray, purpley gray paint, and I'm really happy with the way that looks. So we still have to do the backs of the doors. This this decorative glaze only goes on in one layer, so we don't have to do a second coat of that. So just do the backs of the doors, and then we can put that top ceiling coat stuff on, which we'll show in one more step before we move on to installing the counter and plumbing and all that stuff. So we are making some good progress, and I'm pretty happy. I think this is going to turn out okay.